So I think certainly for the first year and a half, I would spend hours and hours and hours, evenings, late nights, just on Google, on social media, going down rabbit holes, seeing who have supported cricket causes in the past, where I can find an email address, where I can find a phone number, which I can ring the next day. And it's having that confidence to write to someone, to text someone, to call someone saying, look, this is what I'm doing. It's for a fantastic cause. Would you be able to help? Can we have a chat?
Good day and welcome to another edition of On Drive. On Drive is presented by the Caribbean Sports Entertainment Management Group, and my co-host is Calvin Blankendel, and I'm Vernon A. Springer. On Drive brings to you consistency, information, stability, respect, and most of all, a passion to highlight the untold stories of women and men in the sporting world. We also try to make sure that we unearth all of our unsung heroes, administrators, umpires, the fans, you name it. And our motto is never expect, never assume, never ask, and never demand. Just let it be. If it's meant to be, it will happen with God's grace. Today, our special guest is a young man out of England who's going to turn 17 very, very, very quickly and is going into really a leader in the world of cricket. His name is Will Gaffney, and he's a exciting young cricketer, but more so, he's designed something which is very, 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 very special. It's Make Humanity Great Again, and he's launched his own foundation, Bat for a Chance. But outside of him launching his own foundation, we're going to divulge a little bit and get into him to find out who inspired him, who ignited him, and really more or less bring to the viewers and to the listeners his untold story, which is a remarkable story. It's an amazing story, and that's why we have formed On Drive. Welcome to our platform, Will.
Thank you very much, guys. It's an honor to be here. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Who is Will?
Who is Will? It's a very good question. Will is a schoolboy based in England who loves his cricket, as we all do on this podcast. And he just happens to run a cricket charity. But apart from that, I'm just your average 17-year-old kid, really.
Average. Which school you go to in England?
I go to King's Canterbury.
Okay. And how was your season? How was the 2021 season?
It was decent. We played a couple of games. COVID hit us pretty hard, which meant that we were bubbled up for a bit, and it was hard to arrange fixtures. It was sort of in the middle of the English nightmare in the summer. But then played some club stuff over the summer for a couple of fun charities fixtures as well, thrown in there, which we may touch on later. And yeah, really fun, thank you.
How did your school team end up even during the pandemic?
Yeah, good. We won the games that we played, but we're on to bigger and better things for next year. We're looking to have a strong first team.
All right. You want to talk a little bit about your school and the area in England and maybe some of the performances for the season?
Yeah, sure. So the school's based in Kent, which is a county from England. We're literally sort of a 5-minute drive from the Kent County ground, actually, in Canterbury. So it's literally within walking distance. At times we have winter nets there, which is really, really lucky. And in terms of performances, not much to touch on. As I say, our season was cut relatively short because of COVID. But yeah, looking positive for next year.
Now tell us about Will and his parents, mom, dad, any brothers, sisters. Tell us a little bit about your family background.
Yeah, mum and dad have been brilliant, especially with my charity work. They've been fantastic, incredibly supportive. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't really be possible without them. Got a younger brother who also loves his cricket, and a younger sister. And that's kind of my general background for you, I guess.
Now, the big question. Will Gaffney launching a charity.
Yes.
Who inspired you and how that came about?
Oh, well, this is a big question. So it sort of forms off the back of me playing on tour in Sri Lanka when I was 11. So I was lucky enough to go out there pretty young, to be honest, and see firsthand what cricket is like overseas. It's a very different game to the way it's played in England. In Sri Lanka, I was lucky enough to play in some of the most amazing places, and also sort of in the middle of nowhere in Kandy in a coconut mat against a local village side. And that is sort of where it all begins. It was during that fixture against the village side in Kandy that I saw the lack of cricket kit for the first time. And we gave some of our old gear at the end of the game. And I kid you not, the smiles that sort of literally handing over a pair of keeping gloves to these kids in Sri Lanka who had no kit were changing kit once they got out at the middle of the wicket, which was this sort of coconut matting thing, still sticks clearly with me in my head today. And then reflecting on the tour a couple of years later, I wanted to give back, help out in some way, shape or form. What that looked like, I wasn't 100% sure. Sent out an email to some guys in Sri Lanka. Things went quiet, didn't hear for a month and a half, sort of forgot about it a little bit. And then September-ish time, I get this email 3 years ago now saying, this is fantastic. I'd like to help. I'm going to introduce you to a brilliant guy called Alex Reese, who sort of helped form my ideas and the charity a little bit at the start. And things have just snowballed a little bit from there, really.
So who's your working group? Who form parts of your working group with this charity organization?
So it's a relatively small working group. You've got myself. I do the day-to-day running of stuff, balancing it with my schoolwork, of course. And then group of trustees who are unbelievable. Both of my parents are included in that. And they have been incredibly supportive. The trustee group is amazing. We've got some people who are sort of well networked in cricket, which has really, really helped. And then we got various volunteers around the place who just help out with sort of writing articles about us, our website, engineering, and all sorts of bits and pieces, really. So we're really lucky to have a fantastic network of volunteers around the place who just offer a helping hand here and there where my expertise aren't as great, trustees' expertise aren't as great.
Folks, if you're listening or viewing on our special media platform, we have a special guest today in Will Gaffney, and he's talking a little bit about his charity. It's an exciting time for this young man, and we'll be able to get into a little bit more details. We just want to take some time out to be able to salute our sponsors in a very, 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 very big way. Altitude, which has just made this possible. Our backroom team, our technical staff, and my co-host, Carl Blankendale, because this has been a real outstanding journey. And to be able to sit here and talk to Will Gaffney is just almost amazing. So we want to take some time out as we come back to speak to Will. Your first initial project, ignited by Sri Lanka, and then you moved into overdrive. Tell us a little bit about the makeup of your first project, getting gear out to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, so it was only right having sort of the whole charity been off the back of me seeing things in Sri Lanka that we went to Sri Lanka first. And our first kit donation was in November of 2019. 2020, yes, to Sri Lanka through the Ceylon Cricket Foundation, who were doing a similar thing at the time. We packed up a couple of cricket bags full of kit, which we'd started to collect throughout that season, although it was relatively hit by COVID again, sadly. And saying kit out there. And then we supported Sri Lanka again early in 2021 through our partnership with the Foundation of Goodness. It was a real highlight of the charity, still is a massive highlight in our work. We sent enough kit to support 5 villages out there in partnership with the Foundation of Goodness. Along the way, we had Kumar Sangakkara handing over our kit in Colombo, doing a fantastic presentation for us. Gave an amazing speech, which we're forever grateful for. And we've had a real impact out there. And it's safe to say there's some exciting projects in the pipeline.
Exciting projects ahead. And that's why you're on OnDrive. That's why Carl Blankendale will get a chance to be able to just not grid you, but just ask you some questions as we can be able to educate the world as to what Will Gaffney is about and what he is executing for underprivileged children around the world.
Will, first, let me congratulate you on what you're doing. Let's take away the age. It's just remarkable as a human being, especially during these times when the majority of the world is focusing on being an individual and making sure they stay safe and survive. You are actually sharing yourself with countries and individuals you may never see again or meet in person, but you're taking the game and making it, something special off the pitch. Let's talk about you before we go about your projects. 17 years old on Monday. So on behalf of On Drive, Vernon and myself, we wish you a very happy 17th birthday coming up. You definitely deserve it. But 17 years old, normally you'll be thinking about playing the game, catching up with your mates, going to the party, listening to some music. Why would you give up all of your free time to help other people outside of the UK?
So firstly, to touch on something you mentioned at the end there, we help people in the UK as well. So it's not just overseas, we're also UK focused, and I'm sure we'll touch on it a little bit more later, but we've got some very exciting partners who work in the UK, and we've been able to actually have a massive impact over the past couple of months. However, as you say, yes, I'm 17, and that would usually look like, as you say, focusing on a playing career, etc. But I think the thing that I've learned along this journey, and something I'd like to encourage to all On Drive listeners, is the rewards and the feeling you get from helping someone else is like nothing else you can experience. Don't get me wrong, bowling out an opening batsman first ball is bloody fantastic. However, when you're handing over a piece of equipment to a kid who you know is struggling, who you can look them in the eyes and say, oh my word, I can understand. I can't even begin to understand what this kit will mean and do for you. And walk away from that experience, realizing how lucky you are. There's no other feeling that matches that. And I would say that's why I do it. Yes, I'm 17. I still enjoy a good time with my friends. But as you say, a lot of my free time certainly goes towards charity work.
Now, you collect kit and other equipment. Do you have your mates or teams that you're playing against actually reach out to you in advance and say, hey, the season's coming to an end. When can I deliver some of these items to you so you can send them overseas or distribute them in the UK?
Yeah, absolutely. Throughout the cricketing summer here in the UK, we run a collection hub program with various cricket clubs up and down the country, where we offer them a model for their cricket club to become a collection centre. They then send an email out to all of their members, encouraging them to come and donate, send their kit somewhere where it will be better lived rather than the old storage cupboard at the back of the club and other bits and pieces. And then we get it shipped down to us, where we store it, pack it up and send it overseas. Through doing so, we've been able to get kit from, I think, 6 or 7 different county sides here in the UK, including the likes of Lancashire, Sussex, Glamorgan, Kent, just to name a couple. And also receive fantastic support from individuals, clubs, and brands up and down the nation.
Wow. Now, how do you organize your time? Because you're a student first, you still play the game, you want to have fun with your mates, but then it seems like you're running a 24/7 operation. How do you do it?
To be honest, I think I ask myself that question every day. But no, it's about being vigilant with your time, I think. And knowing, especially with something like this, when the time is to step away from a conversation, say, look, I'm sorry, I've got to nip away for a phone call now. And being organized. I think for me as a person, and again, this is why I would encourage listeners to get involved and to get up off their feet and start helping people. One of the skills I've learned is absolutely time management, organization, knowing where I need to be at the right time, giving myself goals I need to I need to reach, etc.
All right. Now, you're part of the global world of cricket. You offer your services and your equipment to less developed nations, for lack of a better term. but you also do it in the UK. The rest of the world probably believes that no kid in the UK needs to buy a kit because they have access to all the professional clubs and the sporting stores around the corner. So in which areas or which counties do you actually support with kit in the UK?
That's a fantastic question. And I think it's quite often forgotten for UK citizens that there's actually a lot of poverty on our doorstep. So to take a really good example for you, sadly, we will have all seen what's been going on in Afghanistan the past couple of months. And that has meant to an increase in Afghan refugees here in the UK. And what do Afghans love to do? Afghans love to play cricket. And no Afghan child or adult is going to be able to travel on that horrible, harrowing, disgusting journey from Afghanistan to England with a cricket bat. It's not doable. But when they get here, what can help them? One, integrate into society. Two, give them escape from hardship. And three, finally, integrate into the UK world. Cricket, something they've played at home and they'd like to continue playing. So we've provided cricket kit for various Afghan refugees all around the place. They're scattered all around the UK at the moment. And that's a fantastic example of, who we've been looking to support in England. Also, there's lots of underprivileged areas in London, lots of council estates where cricket kit is still really expensive. We're forgetting at times that a cricket bat can cost anywhere between £50 to £100, £25 to £75, and that's a lot of money, especially if someone's new to the game. So kids at younger ages looking to enter into the game, we supported a lot of them through our work with the MCC Foundation. Another fantastic charity who I'm proud to be a young ambassador for. We've worked with their hub program, supporting kids who have applied for cricket kit, love their cricket, but unfortunately don't just quite have the kit or the funds to be able to buy new kit.
All right. Before I hand it back to Vernon, do you ever wake up and feel like, I think I've done enough, I want to go back to being a regular 17-year-old?
No, I think there's so much more work to be done. And without sounding too cliche, this is just the beginning.
Fantastic. Vernon, I know you're going to get back into who does he enjoy as a professional cricket player and which team does he support outside of England. So back to you, Vernon.
And once again, we just want to take some time out. Cal and Vernon would like to take some time out to salute our sponsors, Andrew Wholesale, Altitude, and all of the other media platforms who have come on board, or the major sponsors, to be able to make sure that we can be able to bring together On Drive. Our backroom staff, our team has just been excellent. It's a wonderful time for us here on Drive, and we're speaking to Wilf Gaffney. Today is a special day where you're talking about affiliated groups, the MCC, the relationship with the Lenton Group.
Yes, so the Lenton Group very proudly supported our work in Sri Lanka when we supported the Foundation of Goodness and had Kumar Sangakkara handing over our kit. They pulled heaven and earth for us, quite frankly, and Linex, who are a part of the Lenton Group, sponsored and underwrote our shipping costs to Sri Lanka. And I simply can't thank them enough. As I think you may be aware, shipping containers of cricket kit all over the world from the UK is going to cost a lot of money. But when we've got the generosity of people like that and other shipping companies, it makes life a lot easier and it enables us to help more children, really.
When your body is challenged, it burns fuel and energy. Respond to every challenge with Altitude Sports Drink. It replenishes, restores, and prepares you for the next level. Altitude is uniquely formulated with an electrolyte blend and magnesium available in fruit punch, blue frost, and grape. Altitude. Raise your game.
Dem Sports is an innovative sports equipment manufacturer specialising in the production of high-quality sports nets and cages for clubs, universities and schools. The development of a DEM Sports concertina cage, either as a single or double width sports net, has helped schools in inner city areas where space is a premium to include sports such as cricket and tennis in their curriculum in a safe and enjoyable way.
The nets were developed really for when we had schools with a problem space, so it could be used in limited areas. It folds back to the wall to a minimum of 515 millimetres and pulls out to 8 metres just over.
This sort of equipment is exactly the solution that many head teachers will look to use. It is space saving, it is easy to operate, it is relatively low cost, and again the impact of having provision within the school grounds is a real plus point.
DEM Sports are the world leaders in sports nets for schools. They have a range of net sizes to suit all spaces and can custom build whatever you require. For more information on how we can help you transform your play space at school safely, quickly and affordably, contact DEM Sports for details.
What's the cost? And when I say cost, I'm talking about there has to be some cost which is involved in all of this, because I'm sure that your group would budget and figure out in terms of what you're going to execute. What sort of money we're talking about, so that at least folks can appreciate, and folks who are looking at OnDrive, whether it be in Australia or in India, can be able to reach out to you and also, send some cricket gear also that, can be able to help folks in the Caribbean, Bermuda, Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica. We got all those. We almost have the same challenge as you have in England, where cricket is an expensive sport, especially in the Caribbean. And the West Indies Cricket 2020 and Beyond group, that is something that Carl and myself, along with them, we're trying to be able to work to be able to create avenues to also reach out to them. I'm also part of a group in Antigua and Barbuda called YTD. So that's another group that we're working on to be able to try and see if we could reach out to folks, because Carl has 2 boys, and in average in the Caribbean, it's going to cost Carl about $6,000 for his under 15 boys, especially if they represent Antigua and Barbuda and the Leeward Islands. So if his 2 boys get selected, each kit is about $3,000, and we're talking about shoes, bat, you name it. So you know that the cost varies as you go through the Caribbean. I'm just talking about Antigua and Barbuda and St. Kitts and Nevis, because you have to import stuff. So you know that the person who owns the sport shop or who's bringing it in, there's going to be a markup to be able to make some money. So that is why it's so important for us to be able to make sure that we get this message out in terms of what's happening. Now, there's some other groups behind the scene. I know I asked about the costs, because this is a huge task, and without mom and daddy and your team, you wouldn't be able to achieve this.
Yeah. So the cost is a very good question. As you say, the price of high quality, good cricket gear is not cheap at all, to say the least. It's very exclusive, hard to come by, especially in these underprivileged areas in countries in Africa, where there may not even be a cricket shop in the nation. So you're spot on. What I would say, and the term we use, is cricket kit is our currency. We operate like it's our funds, essentially. So we collect an extraordinary amount of kit from all over the place to then distribute it around. We rely majoritarily on second-hand cricket kit donations or donations from brands and sports stores, because the cost of purchasing brand new kit would simply blow our charity out of business. It's not doable. It's not feasible to send the amount of kit that we send through simply only purchasing new kit, which is why we're so incredibly grateful for all of those who have supported our charity in the past through donating kit at their local clubs and counties and around the place. You touched on the West Indies there, Vernon. We have also very proudly supported Trinidad, where we have our first overseas collection and distribution hub up and running. So in partnership with Pro Sport Caribbean, Rob and Zoe, the fantastic human beings who work out there and run the business, we've been able to set up a collection point in Trinidad, where Trinidadians and schools can come and drop off their old cricket kit to then be redistributed around the island and hopefully soon the Caribbean. Which is, it's fantastic. One, to have that self-sufficient model up and running. It's something we're looking to expand and explore. And two, to be having an impact in the West Indies. I think we've also got a shipment of kit coming out to Guyana, hopefully early November. So yeah, it's slowly ticking away.
Now, we're in a modern day era where social media is key. So tell us about your media platforms and some of the institutions that you would have reached throughout your campaign so far.
Yeah, so we're on all social medias. We're on Instagram and Twitter, LinkedIn as well. Our social media platform has been fantastic. We found it as a great way to, one, interact with our volunteers and those who have donated kit in the past, and two, help encourage people to donate, reach out to a different audience. It's been really, really helpful. And it's been really good because it's meant we've also been able to stay in touch with those who have donated kit, and they can see via social media where their stuff has ended up. So we've got a load of photos on there of causes that we've supported and children in, say, Bosnia or Greece playing with cricket kit on our social media. So people who have donated in the past get a clear view and understanding that we're, one, transparent, and they know that their kit is being put to good use. And two, that it encourages them to donate again when they can see their cricket stuff being used to such a fantastic degree.
Give us a chance to promote your social media platforms through OnDrive.
Yeah, so on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, we are Bat for a Chance, all one word usually. And yeah, same goes for our website.
Once again, OnDrive would like to salute our major sponsors, and Carl Blankendel and Vernon A. Springer. We're talking to our special guest today, the birthday boy, Will Gaffney. And it's really, really an honor for us to be able to share his birthday with him in this special moment. Carl.
Yeah, Will, you just touched on your partners or corporate supporters. It may seem easy. I've gone to your page and there are quite a number of entities you work with, but it must have been a little bit difficult in the beginning to express what you were trying to do, specifically if you were moving equipment out of the UK to a foreign country. How was that first tour? Take me through that.
Yeah, it's a really good question, actually. And I think it's something that it's a skill I've learned along the way. And as I'm sure you guys will have experienced, when you're trying to get something off the ground, and as so-called a startup, if you were to phrase it like that, you've got to do a lot of reaching out to people. And the way you phrase things, the way that you write an email can make a difference. All it takes is for one person to respond out of 20 emails, and all of a sudden you've got a potential partner, a potential client, someone who's willing to donate a fair share of cricket kit. So I think certainly for the first year and a half, I would spend hours and hours and hours, evenings, late nights, just on Google, on social media, going down rabbit holes, seeing who have supported cricket causes in the past, where I can find an email address, where I can find a phone number, which I can ring the next day. And it's having that confidence to write to someone, to text someone, to call someone saying, look, this is what I'm doing. It's for a fantastic cause. Would you be able to help? Can we have a chat? Can I sneak my foot in the door with you guys? And then it sort of becomes a domino effect. As soon as you've got that one sort of big name behind you, and I think for me, it was the MCC Foundation, why I'm so endlessly grateful for their support and to be working with them and having such a fantastic impact. Life becomes a lot easier, but it is just that grind of finding people to reach out to and hoping.
What's been your biggest challenge thus far? What's something you're like, we still have to work hard on that to make this magnificent initiative that you have even better?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question. So in terms of challenges, we face quite a few. However, if I were to highlight one, it would be reliably knowing that our kit is going to, one, a good cause, two, the right place, and three, it's not going to get nicked and customed. So sadly, some of the areas that we're working on, working in or have sent kit to in the past, and I see a smile going around there because we all know what the customs man's like. And sadly, at times, he likes to throw a big import tax on some, cricket kit especially. It looks fancy, it looks new sometimes, and that can really sting us, especially if we're having shipping underwritten, we're not having to pay for it, etc. Our budget is very small. The funds we operate on is not as much as you would have thought. And so, making sure that when we're sending to a country, which sadly there may be corruption in, or areas where we're a little bit uncertain as to how the kit's actually going to arrive on the doorstep, that the recipient's going to have the kit safely in his hands when it's expected, and that it's not going to just be locked away in a customs locker for years and years.
On a lighter note, you're very eloquent. You have a good presentation skills. I'm going to put you on the spot, a mini pitch. Just imagine you can ask any cricketer in the world to be part of your platform and to donate some of his equipment or her equipment, or to encourage his team or players that he is has friends with. Do a mini pitch. You can reach anyone right now.
It's like the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
No, so I would say that giving and charitable work in general is the most rewarding thing you can do. There's no better feeling than, one, helping others, and two, sort of seeing an impact that you can have. And then why not do it through cricket, the sport that we all love and care for so deeply, hence On Drive, essentially. And what's easier to do that, and what's needed to play cricket? Cricket kit, of course. And how can we break down that barrier which potentially prevents people from playing cricket in underrepresented areas, etc., by providing the kit? And that's exactly what Bat for a Chance does. And that is why I would encourage you and others to get off your feet and support Bat for a Chance or any other cricketing charities. It doesn't have to be us. In general, I would say the cricketing space needs love and help. So please get involved.
Fantastic. I think you're going to get quite a few calls. Let's take it to a personal level, a little lighter note before Vernon comes back in. Your favorite cricket player?
It's a good question. So right now, I would say Liam Livingstone. I think the way that he bats in T20 cricket is fantastic. His wrist speed, his power, where it comes from, is really interesting compared to your classic Chris Gale, as I'm sure you guys know very well. He's a big guy, a big hitter. But if you were to ask me 2 years ago, I probably would have said someone along the lines of Matt Pryor. He kept for England for a number of years. He's a good guy. He's cool. He was a bit of an inspiration showing up. I had his shirt.
Your second favorite team, I believe you will support the English cricket team. So what's your second team?
Can this be an international side? Can it be a franchise side?
Yeah. It's your choice. It's open.
Well, I would probably say Sussex Sharks in the T20 Blast here in the UK, or the Rajasthan Royals. I'm a big Rajasthan Royals fan as well.
All right. So since you said Sussex, I believe Delray Rollins plays for them.
Yes.
I'm from Bermuda, very small amateur league. He's made it into the big leagues as a young man. Still has some way to go, but to make it that far, leaving Bermuda, I believe at around the age of 14, 15, I would definitely reach out to him to see if he can be an ambassador for you as well, because I believe this is a great course. I'm giving it back to Vernon because I know he wants to go deeper into some cricketing questions.
Now, I think I'm going to just be able to just make sure that I shift well now into the football arena, because the United Kingdom has the biggest football league in the world, the English Premier League. And my team and Cal team, we lost again today. It's not good news, Manchester United. So you see Cal is wearing his red and I'm wearing my black. so you'll understand in terms of what's happening. Who's your football team?
I think I'm gonna step on a few toes here. I'm a Chelsea fan. Yeah.
So you lost today also.
We did, yeah, we did. But
you lost to the champions.
Well, yes.
And you are champion too, so that's all right. Everything is in order.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll get them in the next half of the season. That's all
right. All right. Now, on the downtime, when Will is in his own little space, what sort of music you listen to?
Oh, that's a good question. What sort of music? It's very varied. I've got a playlist which has got over, I think, 72 hours worth of music in it. And so for the past 2 years, I've basically just been adding random songs to this playlist. And I'm kind of now at the point where I just hit shuffle, and whatever comes on, I seem to like it. So yeah, it depends what mood I'm in, I think.
Downtime. What do you do in your downtime? And you're 17-year-old. So just for other folks around, you talked about the balance. You're here, you're heading a charity and still combining your schoolwork and still being able to enjoy your life as a teenager. What's the balance? What's your downtime? What do you do during downtime?
Absolutely. The balance is key, and I think it's key in whatever walk of life you're in. What's my downtime? My downtime is cricket. It's sport, a lot of sport where I can. It's also going out, seeing friends, partying a little bit, as you touched on earlier. Being a teenager, essentially. I can't let that slip away from me. It doesn't last forever. So yeah, it's definitely there, to say the least. But also for me, downtime is charity stuff, because I can find it relaxing. You can do it in a casual way. So yeah, it's just a bit of a balancing act, really.
Where do you see this charity going in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, we'd like to be an established cricketing charity around the world, not just in the UK, but overseas. And I think that's the key thing, starting to create a foothold in the cricketing industry, the global network, as you guys were mentioning earlier, and so that people come to us for cricket kit. And that's the aim. No matter what region it is in the world, no matter what continent, they can come to us and at least apply for cricket kit. I think we've learned along our way as a charity that cricket is played in areas I didn't even know or think cricket would be played in. And we're really keen to promote that and support that and help the game grow. So yeah.
My buddy, I feel very, very, very honored to be having this conversation with you on your birthday, and through Vast Sports Media, and also through YTD Club and Lady Mix from the Leeward Islands and from the West Indies. We just want to wish you a very, 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 very happy birthday, and to tell you to just go on out there and just be able to just have fun, just enjoy yourself, enjoy your youthful days. Go ride a bike, do whatever you want to do, get some ice cream, just have fun. Enjoy yourself. And OnDrive is really, really, really pleased to be able to share this story with you. Today's your birthday. I can't sing, but all I just want to say is just have a happy Earth Day. It's really indeed a special and an honor for you. But Carl, who is the singer, he will be able to sign off this segment here, and all the folks all around the world who are looking at us. If Carl maybe starts off, maybe I might chime in and be able to just wish you happy birthday. It's down to you, Carl.
All right. Now, Will, I'm definitely not a singer, but you're such a fantastic guy. So I'm definitely going to try to add my voice to it. So I'm going to say, happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Will.
Happy birthday, Will. And Will, you're such a fantastic guy. All I'm going to say, continue to do what you're doing. Remember that your academics come first. I'm pretty sure you've got good grades because your parents wouldn't allow you to do what you're doing if you were not up to par. And then stay in touch. If we can help you to promote your message, which is a message that OnDrive and the Caribbean Entertainment Sports Management Group supports, we will definitely do that. You're now a friend of the platform, and feel free to come back at any time.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, guys. It's been an honor to be with you today.
All right. Enjoy your birthday, mate.
Cheers.
God bless.